Right, hi everyone. As a follow-up to my last video, which was an unboxing of this OneLeaf.ai digital scope, if I can get the box, it's time for a review. And I'm quite excited and chuffed to do this review, so hopefully I can do it justice. It's not something that I would have ever bought. It's quite expensive, but if you go onto Google and type in day-night scope and look at the prices of some of these things, I've found ones to be 2 or 3 times the price of this one. And as much as I haven't shot the gun with it on, and I haven't gone through everything yet, I've watched lots and lots of different YouTube creators' videos on this scope, and there's quite a lot of them out there that have been out there for probably the last year on this model, but the firmware has been updated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 3 sections. I'll do the what I thought was a rangefinder, but it's a lot more than a rangefinder, as I'll explain to you. Then I'll do the IR, the infrared, so it's sort of a torch what attaches to the scope, and it attaches in several ways. Takes a battery. It's got three power settings, but we'll go into that one when I get onto it. And then the scope itself, its functions, what it does, what it don't do, etc. But first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Jason from OneLeaf for sending me this scope and giving me the opportunity to make the video, because my channel isn't a big channel. I've only got a couple of thousand subscribers, so you know, I could quite understand. I wouldn't expect to receive something of this magnitude, because I'm not being paid to make this video. They've basically sent me a scope. It's my scope to do what I want with. I can say whatever I want about it. I'm a pretty honest person, and I can assure you, if this was rubbish, I'll be the first to tell you it was rubbish. Now, I do my due diligence before I buy anything, and I've watched probably 12 reviews that other people have done on YouTube of this scope, and from the little tidbits of information I've been getting watching the videos, they're all pretty impressed and pretty pleased. And I can tell you from handling it and fitting it to this gun, now it does look a bit humongous on this gun. It's my Kral Arms MPO2. It is actually, the scope I took off is actually slightly longer than this scope, but with its accessories this is bulky. Under normal circumstances I wouldn't have the IR illuminator on. It's not night time. I wouldn't have that on. You can buy the scope in different formats. You don't have to get it as you see it here. You can get it cheaper. If I show you the box here, I'll put something up on the screen to show you what you can have it as. It comes in three different guises really. You can have the scope and the rangefinder. You can have the scope and the IR light, the infrared light illuminator. And you can have it with the illuminator and the rangefinder, but it's not just a rangefinder. We'll come on to that in a moment. So yeah, thank you to Jason at OneLeaf for sending me it and giving me the opportunity. Thanks to my subscribers, and the last video I put up, which was the unboxing of this scope, to show you what you get. Now I'm pretty impressed, because normally you buy things in life, like the camera I'm filming this on, it's a similar price to this scope. I bought the camera, I'd love to use it, charge it up, can't use it because I haven't got a memory card. There's always a little obstacle somewhere. With this scope you get everything in the box. In fact, the little memory card is not in the box, it's actually fitted in the scope. So when you get the scope, you get all the batteries with it. You get the memory card fitted, what you need for your 4K, because it's a digital scope and it records your shooting. You get absolutely everything, even little O-rings for when you remove these turret covers to waterproof it and dustproof it. They've got little O-rings, like rubber rings round on every section that's removable. They've got O-rings. You get supplied with spare O-rings for when them ones wear out or break, or you know, perish, or whatever they're doing in the future. And as I say, you don't have to have it in this configuration. You can have it minor. I wouldn't be using that because it's daytime. It's not something that I would buy on the onset, because I'm a bit boring, and the shooting club I go to, I've been going to for years. I know all the ranges off by heart, they're embedded in my head. But as far as rangefinders go, you might think that this rangefinder is quite, let's zoom in, you might think that this rangefinder is a bit of a large object. It's not really that big, because at the shooting clubs I've seen people use the rangefinders where it's a big palm, like a palm recorder, sort of quite a big size thing, and that just, as far as I'm aware, unless I've got my facts wrong, that just indicates the distance to your target. This one does a lot more than that. It's got little electrical contacts on the side of the scope. When you bolt it on, and it basically sends information to the central processor, the little computer in the scope. And not only is it a rangefinder, it is a ballistic calculator as well. In the menus of the scope, when you put all the information required, the air pressure, height above sea level, the weight of your projectile, your pellet, how many grains it is, etc. When you fill all the information in, I'm led to believe, I haven't got this first hand yet because I haven't shot the gun with the scope on it yet, but from watching other people's videos so far, it's quite impressive. You get a little green box come up on your reticle to indicate your hold over or what hold under from the information that you give the menu. All the information required, it's fairly accurate apparently on your hold over and your hold under. So it actually is not just a rangefinder. It does a hell of a lot more than that. There's comprehensive, detailed information when you look through the viewfinder, and it's quite impressive. I wear glasses, so if you wear put the rubber eye cups which thread into the end of this, they're quite secure, quite easy to put on. If you put those on, I imagine if you don't wear glasses, it will keep all the stray light out and you'll have an absolute brilliant image, even in daytime. This funny looking thing here is because there's 3 modes on the scope. There's a starlight mode where it's dark, but there is a bit of light. Let's say the moon's out, the stars are out, so it's not total darkness. Your other mode is pure daylight. Today's a bright sunny day, so you have to put this bit on the end to reduce the light going into the sensor. It would overpower the sensor, so you just screw this little attachment on. Let's unscrew that and show you that. It just threads onto the end. It's metal, quite sturdy, and that just screws onto the end of what looks like a lens cap, but it's quite a sturdy bit, and then you just screw it back on. That's in daylight mode. There's a button on here that I'll explain in a bit as the video goes on. There is a button here to tell it what mode of the 3 modes you want it in: daytime, starlight, or nighttime. So if it's total darkness, you don't have anything on the front to allow as much light in as possible. Yeah, it's it's not something I would have bought. It's not something I need because I don't shoot at night time. But from the daytime use, from how much I've played with it so far, I can say I'm very impressed. When I originally was contacted by OneLeaf asking if I would be interested in reviewing this scope, I thought, oh, it's not something I'll probably ever use. I'll probably give it away in a competition or something. I've not messed with it for long. I thought I would have to charge the batteries, but I didn't even have to do that. They were all fully charged when I got it out of the box. So I've had a little play around. I'm not fully familiar with it yet. I'm pretty sure from the videos that I've already seen, it's not going to be that complicated. So what we'll do now is we'll get onto the AR Eliminator. I was going to say Illuminator, but Eliminator, and see how that works, see the different modes that's got, the different power settings, and the battery it takes. One question that I had before I got the scope, I sent Jason at OneLeaf a message asking if this scope will take the recoil and the shock off a spring gun. Basically you can stick this scope on any gun, rimfire, bullet gun, spring, pellet gun, anything else. It won't affect it or break it, so that's good news. The weight of it weighs 2 pounds, and some people would consider that a bit too heavy, but I'm your average Wimpo who's about 10.5 stone these days, and I can hold that with one hand, and I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, so there's no problem. And this gun is a little chunky monkey. I don't know what the gun weighs, but it's not a lightweight thing. I'm sure it's not the heaviest, but that's that. And the scope rings what they provide with it, they're adequate for the job. They're quite good. They're quite bulky, sturdy scope rings, but I guess they've got to be to hold the weight and manage, you know, everything what's on there. What I've found so far is it won't fit into my gun bag with the scope on, but it is a small, tight fitting gun bag. So what I would probably do when I go to the shooting club is I'd actually just undo the two nuts, take the scope off, get a plastic foam lined box, and carry the scope in that. When I get to the gun range, just drop it on. Being Picatinny, all I'll have to do is remember where this one's located, the back ring here, and just drop it on. I won't have to re-zero it, and if I did, it's only a 1 pellet re-zero, so that's no problem either. This instruction book, I will show you through it in a bit, more close up, and you can go online, and there's it's very well wrote to start with. It's not a rough translation from Chinese to English. It's in very good English, very easy to understand. I haven't had a good look through it yet. I'm the sort of person who watches videos to learn how to use things as opposed to reading books, but all the specifications and everything you require to, all the knowledge you need to know about this scope is in this book. And if this isn't enough for you, there is an online site that I will stick on screen somewhere so that you can find out more information. Right, before getting onto the infrared torch or illuminator, I called it an eliminator, illuminator. Within the menus on the scope, you can turn on a green dot from the rangefinder, and using a hole here and a hole here, there and there, you can adjust it so that the beam of light coming from the rangefinder coincides with the centre of your reticle, what you're looking through your scope, so you can line them both up. So in other words, when you press the top of the button on the scope to range find the distance to your target, you can also put the dot on the target at the same time, so you can see, make it easier in the dark. Well, now come on to this part, which is the I'm going to call it a torch, an infrared torch, but infrared illuminator, but I'm going to call it a torch just for being simple. So I'm going to turn the gun round, take that off possibly, show you where the battery goes, show you the different levels of brightness, and hopefully as the video progresses you will see that in action night time. Right, we'll have a look at the infrared torch. In fact, it'll pay me probably to take it off the scope and get in a dark place so you can see the demonstration I'm going to do of the different power settings. So I'll find a dark place, and all you need is a 1p piece coin, or in this case 5p piece coin. Undo that, slide your torch out, take that out, and you're left with the device. In the rear of it is the button. Here is the on off button and different power settings, which I will show you in the dark in a moment. It takes an 18650 battery, like these vape people use. It's even embossed with OneLeaf.ai on it. Samsung battery, so it'll be a good one. Get the polarity correct. So there's your battery, and they do supply a charger for that, because I've already charged this. I mean, it didn't need much of a charge. It's got an O-ring around the top to keep moisture and water out, to keep it waterproof. So, and the mounting bracket for this, most people who use these, there's sort of I don't know if you can see this inside, but it's quite a clever little design. Let's zoom in. Within side of this circle clamp There's a sort, it looks like a sort of wedding ring made of plastic or metal, whatever it is. I think you can see that. Well, that allows you, if you don't do it really tight, to actually have slight movement up, down, right and left. So you can line it perfectly with your scope at night time. It's a good little design, that is. Very clever. This bracket goes onto the top of the scope ring. You can put it there at the front, you can put it at the side. If you haven't got the rangefinder on, you can face it on the opposite direction, at the front or the back. So that's pretty simple. There's only one little bolt holding that little nut the other side. It goes straight onto the Picatinny. Straightforward, simple design but effective. Right, to show you this I've had to find a dark place because it's very bright out there today. One click, that's the lowest power. Turn it off, turn it back on. There's two little illuminated, they're not that bright that they dazzle you at night time, but just enough to know that it's turned on. Another one, 3. And if I face it to the camera, hopefully, there it is, the infrared light. Good bit of kit. As I say, from other people's videos that I've seen, it's apparently very effective, as I've yet to find out, but you will see the footage further on in the video. I almost forgot to mention while I was there, you've got your near and far, so that alters the diameter of the beam in accordance with your zoom on your target on your scope. So all you do is turn that in and out to focus your beam, as it were. Right, we'll zoom in and we'll take a look at what all the knobs, switches and what all the controls do, and quite interesting. Here's the power button. So a long press of about 4 seconds turns the unit on. Once it's on, press it again, puts it in standby mode, press it again, turns it back on instantly, and then hold it for 3 or 4 seconds to turn off. So this part of the eyepiece is the plus and minus for your diopter adjustment for your eyesight. Like me, if you wear glasses, that focuses your reticle for your eyes. And then we'll come on to these 3 buttons. Well, these 3 buttons, soft press buttons, you can turn them on in the menus to illuminate at night time, so you can actually see the buttons or what they're for. And they're a double press. What I mean by that is each button does 2 things. So this button up here, first press starts recording, hold it, then you can take a picture. This button here, quick press, gives you your 3 modes: starlight, nighttime, daytime. Long press gives you picture in picture. So at the top of your screen, as you look through, there's a square box and it magnifies whatever your target is. It gives you a real close-up image. This one here alters the brightness of your image, because at night time you don't want it quite so bright, and in really bright daylight you'd probably want it as bright as possible. I think there's 5 levels, or maybe 4. I'll put it on screen. Then a long press of the button gives you a replay of your footage on your memory card of your videos you've recorded. This adjustable knob here twists left and right, press it down. This controls more or less everything on the scope. Gets you in the menus, makes adjustments. You use this for your 1-shot 0. Quite easy to use, quite nice. And also when you're looking through the scope and it's turned on, pressing that activates the rangefinder ballistic calculator, so it displays the distance from your target. Right, by removing the cap on the right hand side of the scope, it's very tight because it's got an O-ring there. It is a bit stiff to undo at first. By removing this exposes your memory card. I think it's up to 128 gig. It came with a 64 gig card already fitted with the latest firmware on. Then you've got a USB socket, a reset button there, should anything happen to the electronics and it plays up, which is very unlikely, you have got a little tiny button there you can press to reset the scope. You've got a USB out and a HDMI out and a slot for your memory card with a little rubber bung to extra waterproof it. Underneath this cap is where your 18500 battery lives. Let's take this off and show you. I've already here's your battery, or one of the batteries. There is two inserted inside that you can't remove, but I will show you a picture of that. And if you wish to use the longer battery, the 18650 battery, you also get another cap which is slightly higher, so you can use two different type batteries. We'll have a look now at some one-shot zero and some shooting at the gun club, and zeroing the gun in my garden. Quite good. So I had plans on Saturday of going to the shooting club and coming back with some fantastic footage through this lens, through this scope, of me shooting at marvellous 60 odd 70 yards, and it looking quite good and doing me making me look quite good, but it didn't turn out that way. I used, sorry about the noise in the background, I live next door to a school, and typically they always come out when I start filming. It's my poor timing. But I went to the shooting club and I had about 40 pellets left, or 30 odd pellets, JSB 844 grain, and I zeroed the gun before I left here, and everything seemed okay. I zeroed the scope, should I say, not the gun. Everything seemed okay, and then when I got there I shot something straight away at 66 yards, pinged the bell, so then I went to hit another target, hit that, and then when I started recording the footage, I started missing things, and I thought, what's going on here? And it went down the pan after that. 4.5 hours I stayed fiddling about, trying to redo my zero on the scope, but they also had a competition on as well, and every time you blow the whistle it stopped everybody shooting. So I didn't want to be that guy who ruins everybody's day. So I hung it out for about 4.5 hours. Testament to the batteries in the scope, there is actually two internal batteries that are fitted, well, for life, unless you have to send it back for any reason to get them changed. They're 18650s, and there's two of them in the barrel of the scope, and when you charge it through the port at the side, it charges those two batteries as well as the small battery in the top. So I did think about that as a bit of a negative point, because it's not like you can get to them. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if you can unscrew a section. I haven't read anything that says you can get those batteries out. Whether or not you can, I will update the channel at a future point if I find out you can take the batteries out. But anyway, when I returned home, took the scope off, put my normal scope on, and I had the same results with that one, shooting in my garden. 1 minute it would hit the bullseye and then it wouldn't, so I came to the conclusion my barrel needed cleaning. I think I've shot somewhere in the region of about 800 pellets through it since the last time I cleaned the barrel. It's just sod's law the way it happens, so I wasted a day. I'll put some footage up now. I'll just say before I put the footage up, when I look through this lens I've got a wealth of information. There's a cant meter to tell you if your scope is level or canted to one side. There's a meter to show your gun in its orientation, whether it's vertical, level, up or down. There's one on the left. There's a compass at the top, north, east, south, west. You can have picture in picture. Now all this information I can see, but when you record it, when you play back the recording on a monitor or a computer, all you see is the actual crosshairs, your reticle, that's all you see. The date at the bottom, your crosshairs, and a little OneLeaf symbol. I did plan on plugging the lead in the side and letting you see the view that I see, and I've got no way of filming it because the lead I've got in the box, I think it's called a micro HDMI, it doesn't fit any of our sockets. or any of my sockets on computers or monitors. It's slightly smaller than a standard HDMI. So in future videos I will get another lead. It'll only cost a couple of quid, so I can plug it into the scope and then record it with an external monitor so that you can see all the widgets on screen. So I'll be a bit naughty, and I'll pinch somebody else's footage and put it in to show you what the menus look like and what all the widgets look like. There's no deceit there because it's exactly the same scope. So it's just that I'm unable to film it. I have got this silly device that goes onto the back of the scope and then you attach your camera to it. Sadly, since I bought the thing a couple of years ago, it's been useless. I've never filmed anything with it. I just can't get the thing to line up with the scope so that you can see a clear picture. It's a bit of a white elephant, that 30 odd quid for nothing. So I'll show you some footage daytime and nighttime now, and I must say the sound that this scope picks up as well as the picture. Now the picture you're going to see is not going to be anywhere near as good a quality as what I see on my computer or the TV or whatever you plug it into, you know, because YouTube compresses everything, so it's inferior quality what you're seeing to what the actual footage is. I will also give it a good test at night time. I will take the scope off the gun in a future video and go out somewhere in public, down the woods somewhere, because I've got a feeling that this infrared torch really is going to illuminate things at a hell of a good distance. And also the ballistic calculator, what's on the rangefinder, I was pleased to see that most of the distances that I thought the targets were, that I'd led to believe by what people had told me at the shooting club, actually coincided with what the information that I got on here on my display. It doesn't show you that in the footage I'm going to show you in a moment of me shooting. Basically, I stuck a chair by my front door and I rigged it up, shot through my hallway, through my kitchen, through the piece to my garden, and then to the end of the garden fence. I think it works out to be something like 26.3 yards. So that's the distance of the shooting that you're going to see in a moment. It's nothing too exciting, but it does show you what the abilities of the scope at 26 yards. I know it'd be a lot better a lot further, and as I say, in future videos I will get it rolling down the gun club, and you will see me hitting spinners at 60 odd yards on a regular basis, which is what I always do. So before we get onto the shooting as well, the ballistic calculator, for people that are new to this sport or hobby, obviously we all take it for granted that people know what you're on about when you talk about first focal plane, second focal plane. This has got both, by the way. You switch between the two in the menus. Now the menus are very simple to understand. You haven't got to be an IT expert to try and navigate through the menu. It's dead simple. You press this little button, I'll call it a command button. You press that button and you cycle through. It's self-explanatory. It is really easy. If you want to change your reticle, you go to reticle, press the button, go across by turning it clockwise, and then you've got a choice of 7 reticles, and then to change the colour of reticles you go down to reticle colour. Same thing again. It's quite simple, and when you do your one shot zero, it's wrote down at the bottom. It'll say you know, do this, do that. You've basically got a ghost reticle. You shoot at your bullseye or whatever your target is, and then where the pellet hits, because chances are you're not going to get a bullseye when you've just fitted a scope to your gun. So you shoot a pellet or whatever you're shooting, and then you get the ghost. You press the button, you cycle down the menu, you go down to one shot, and then press the button, hold it, and then you've got a ghost, like a ghost one reticle, identical to the one you're looking at, and then by turning this you go across, down, up, get it to where the hole is, and then press it and it will say save successfully, and then you press and hold it to get out the menu. Job done, and hopefully your next shot will be a bullseye. It's dead straightforward. I'll tell you, the village idiot could work it out. Even I can do it. But so we'll see me shooting some spinners that I forgot that I had in the cupboard at just over 20 yards. I know it's not a great distance, in the daytime, then you'll see me shoot a card with little tiny bullseyes. They're the size of a 2p piece, but the bullseye is about, I would guess it's about an 8mm, 9mm bullseye. Hit every one of those, and then I shoot the spinners at night time. Also cover the IR up to see what it looks like without the IR. But we've got a lot of light pollution in this garden because my wife's got lights everywhere, and I turned off as many as I could. So we'll look at that now, and then while we're seeing that, when you hear my voice, it's picking up off the scope. I've got no cameras going, it's just the scope, my voice. I probably will add some commentary to some bits and bobs as we progress. But as I say, a future video that I'm going to do, I'm going to explain first focal plane, second focal plane to people who don't know what it means, and also the ballistic calculator. Now, I don't need a ballistic calculator because where I go, I know this gun with the pellets that I use, 10.31 grain, the JSB heavies. I tend to stick to those with this gun. It's quite accurate with them. So I know with this gun, if I zero, so when I aim my reticle, I do it at 30 yards for a bullseye at 30 yards. To compensate for the arc of your pellet coming out, your slight curvature, I always set my guns to 30 yards zero. So then if I shoot a target at 62 yards, I will be 3 over the centre of my reticle. I've got to go up 3 mil dots to hit a target at 62 yards. 70 yards it'll be 4. So over the long period of time I've been going to the shooting club, I know in my head what the distances are, so I don't really need a rangefinder, and I certainly don't need a ballistic calculator. All I do is go 60 yards, 3 over. That just comes with experience. But should I go to a new shooting club, or if I shot rodents, let's say, you would look down, press the button, it would tell you the distance, what the rat was at, or your target, or whatever it was, and the bonus bit comes if you fill all the relevant details in on the ballistic calculator in the menus, what weight your pellet is, the drag coefficient, the air pressure, your height above sea level, providing that you put all the information in as closely and as correctly as you can. Not only have you not got to work it out in your head how far away, how much holdover you've got to give that rat at 45 yards or 30 yards or whatever it is, it actually comes up with a symbol on your reticle, a circle with an X, and if you bring your scope up or down to where that is, the work's already been done for you, so you haven't got to think in your mind, oh, is it 2 over or 3 over for that distance? It's already done. You've just got to follow the symbol on your screen. So it will be very beneficial to some people. Something I probably will never use, but it's there if you need it. But the rangefinder side of it will come in handy for me, because if I went to a new shooting club and something was at a distance and I ain't got a clue how far away it was, point this on it, a little display comes up, I don't know, 55 yards, I know then in my head how much to aim over to hit that. But most of my stuff I've done in the past has been by trial and error. But when you're shooting live animals, obviously you've got to kill them as humanely as possible, so you don't want to hit one in the wrong place and have to keep putting more projectiles in it to try and pull it out of its misery. But I don't shoot animals, so I've not got that problem. So with a target, if you shoot it and you miss it, you shoot it again. But anyway, I've been yabbling enough now. I'll stick the footage on screen. 4K 30, zoomed in 1.8 times. We go for the right one. Bullseye. Go for immediate, the middle one. Let's zoom in, get some magnification going. What are we on? We're on 3 times magnification. 4 times magnification. I don't really need it that much, but that's dead on 5 times magnification. Aim for the bull. Hang on. the other bullseye? There's two left. Bang on. Right, we've definitely got the 0 correct. Right, let's get a bit of magnification on. I'm on first focal plane as well now. I've changed from second focal plane, so as I zoom in, my reticle will get bigger, as well as the image. Right, here we go. Right, that's 9 times magnification. Don't know how clear it is, but here we go. Bullseye. Zoom out. Right, see if we can get this blooming tomato. Focus the lens. We'll zoom in a little bit. Right. Bob's your uncle. Blow the top off the bottle. When I find it. Yeah, bang where I wanted it. Hit the bottle in the middle. And then we'll get the tomato again. That's the plan. We'll get the bottle at the bottom actually. In the middle. Get the tomato again. And we'll say the scope is definitely zeroed. Well, how many times? That's 7 times magnification. Let's zoom in. Right, back to fire. Right, one more. I did a top right one. Actually, I did the middle circle. What's already been it twice. That's it. Right, infrared on number 2. Nighttime vision. Here we go. I think I got that one. Load the gun. Hard to see what you're doing in the night time. Number 2, the middle one. Definitely works. I'll cover the infrared beam with my hand so you can see what difference it makes. Yeah, that's without it. That's with my hand out the way. Right, bottom X in the middle. Yes, I can see everything. In the middle again. Alright, I think. Now I'll tell you what, we'll do the middle left X. Job done. So, pros and cons to this scope. I've enjoyed using it for the last few days. I will go back down the shooting club and I will do future videos, and I will go further into the menus. I'm going to buy this lead that I need and a couple of quid off Amazon, and I'll do some future reviews, go into the menus and show you how you set up your ballistics. It's not, as I said, this ballistic calculator isn't something I'm likely to ever use. I will be using the rangefinder to distance targets that I'm unfamiliar with. Who would this be great for, this scope? Well, it's competitive. It's very competitive in its price compared to other similar scopes. It's have a look around. You'll be amazed at what these things, how much these things demand sometimes. If you shoot, if you do pest control, and one of these things would be absolutely invaluable. I'm pretty sure people who do that line of work have probably already got something similar to this. As far as I go, I've had this thing a few days, and if I had to send it back, or when the wife asked me what I want for Christmas, this would be on the top of the list. That is gospel honest truth. I'm impressed with it. But then I like my gizmos, I like my gadgets and things like that. It wouldn't make me a better shooter. It wouldn't improve my shooting ability because I'm boring and I go to the same range most of the time. But should I go somewhere new in the future, then at least I can press this button, see what range it is, and I'll know it's imprinted in my mind how much I'll over to give it to shoot the target. My next video is going to be my birthday present that I've had for a few days. It's still in the box upstairs, locked away in the cupboard. So that'll be my next video. It's my birthday in, what is it, Tuesday today. It's my birthday, I think it's Monday. Yeah, I'll be 60, I'm sure it's Monday. So only a few days away, so in the meantime I'll be doing a video on that. If anybody's interested in buying one of these scopes, I'm going to put a discount link in the description at the bottom of this video. It will be roughly 60 quid. The exchange rate, the way it works, I think it works out to be in this format. Everything you see here with the rangefinder and the IR illuminator, it works out at literally today's exchange rate. It works out to be, I think it's 520 some odd pounds. I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen, the exact figure, which is the price really. It's a bit cheaper than the high end. A Viroc HW 97 would be about £60 dearer than that. So if you've got a really decent gun that you love shooting, and I can't see why you wouldn't want one of these on top, but that's only my opinion. Everybody to their own. People can't always afford things and they have to buy the cheapest and make do with it. I can understand that. I've been in that boat myself. But thanks if you've managed to hang on this long. It's been a long video and I've only scratched the surface. If I went in depth, it'd be another half an hour, and I'm sure nobody's going to sit around for that length of time watching. I didn't include, which I forgot and I've just remembered, you have to calibrate this for the gyroscope, the built-in gyroscope. You have to calibrate it, which means doing a figure of 8. I didn't show that, but it's got for the compass, and so the gun knows which direction and the cant it's in. There's an inbuilt gyroscope, and you have to go for a figure of 8 6 to 8 times, and then it says, yep, successful, press the button, saved. Simple as that. Forgot to mention that. So if you're still in there, give yourself a pat on the back from me. Many thanks for watching the video. If you're a long-term subscriber or just passing by, thank you for looking at the video. Anything that I've not hit on, there's lots of videos you can look around, and if you read the reviews on these scopes, I've never seen a bad one. I've read about 15 reviews, and hands-on experience myself, I can see why. And that's not just me. I've had my payment for this. I won't get anything out of whether you buy one or not. So this scope is my payment for the video, and I've enjoyed doing it. Like I said, it's very long-winded, and I go on and on and on. But I will go more in depth into the menus, into how to fill various bits of it in. But it's pretty straightforward, and as I say, the average village idiot can do this, because I've done it. That's me. I've set it up for how I use things, and it's dead simple. It explains everything in the viewfinder. So till the next one, as I say, my new gun unboxing. Nothing special. I've had one before, but I wanted another one, something to mark my birthday, my 60th. So till then, take care. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. product discount link till the 29th of May, 10% off, which is about 60 quid off its normal price. After that it's 5% off, so if you want to buy one, buy one. If you see me down the shooting club with this, I'll let you have a play around with it, I'll let you have a shot with it, etc. Not a problem. Till then, take care, thanks very much, and a thumbs up if you don't mind.